The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're planning on buying or selling a home, the real estate crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holtshouser,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Welcome and thanks for joining us on our Real Estate House Party. Happy birthday to Tony V, the comedian legend.
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday to Shawno.
I was getting to that.
Our favorite barista. Did we call you a barista? Our favorite barista.
I was trying to fight him in the studio at our audience.
He's
Sean, give us a
working.
wave. Where are you? Oh, there you are.
He's way in the back.
We love you, Shawno.
And we got Kathy Holtshouser, paralegal extraordinaire.
Yeah.
And look who else we have
I know.
here.
He didn't know he was coming on today.
Who is it? Gus V.
Hey.
Are you going to use your real name when you're on the stage?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I like Gus V.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
He's going to protect the
No,
family.
no one could say the last name. That's how my whole thing started.
Is that how it
yeah.
started? I thought you were just
No, I
trying to...
think V has a nice little ring
it's-
to it.
it's
Tony
like a
V.
timey
Try to
thing.
go with the Roman numerals, so like Gus 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great
I've
idea.
had people ask for Tony the Fifth.
Tony the
before.
Fifth?
Yeah. We'd like to get this guy Tony the Fifth. It's got a nice
Tell him
war.
you're the first.
That
Yeah.
could be like because you executed a bunch of your wives, though.
Well, Tony the Fifth had a nice birthday party the other
We
day.
had a great time over
Yeah.
at Giggles there on Route 1 southbound.
And
it was
You had all the
terrific.
heavy hitters.
Yeah, I had a lot of friends. I was explaining it to people. It was like you know, if you dug up my life and went in stratas, you would see. I had friends from like when
Like
I
an
was
oak tree.
Yeah, like a tree. Like
Oh,
you
with
cut
the rings?
Cut
or,
the-
or
Yeah.
the ice. If you look at the ice, you can tell the ages. It's the same thing. I had friends from when I was a kid, and I had friends who I met when my kids were young that went to school with them and all that. Then I had my kids and their friends, and then I had my comedian friends, and then people who just
Just our friends.
Overwhelming.
friend.
right?
There's like an old man in a black cloak beckoning.
he didn't have a sickle with him, did he?
Couldn't really see his
More of a
face, though.
scythe.
A scythe.
It's longer.
Could not see his face at all.
All
He
right,
was
so our
behind that.
first
Bony.
learning thing is a sickle is different than a scythe.
Scythe.
A
Yeah.
scythe
Right.
is long, right?
Scythe,
Scythe
yeah,
is longer.
sickle's like a crescent. It's like on the communist thing. That's a sickle.
That's
Okay.
Okay.
And a scythe
A
is
scythe
like
is
to
longer.
reap grain, so you can
That's
pull.
perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
Yeah.
for joining us here at the Real Estate House
Thus-
Party. That's the most information we've got out in about 8 episodes
Yeah.
here.
That-
yeah.
So we were going to talk about.
We can talk about anything.
Let's talk about anything. We can't talk about your joke that you had on the for your dad.
No, I use a bad word.
You use
Yeah,
one
no,
bad word.
No bad words on
The
our
whole
podcast.
joke was great. Was till that one word.
Can you do you have a substitute for the word? Or?
Yeah, well, it doesn't.
doesn't.
It-
won't
There
pull.
aren't any substitutes. Okay,
Yeah,
It
no,
just
loses-
checking.
It
It
needs
loses
that
some
word.
of its flavor.
You might have to tell me off.
I'll tell you
air.
after.
Okay.
It's a good joke.
It's a great joke. It's a great joke. Kenny Rogerson said, "That's
When we came, as soon as I came off stage one time, Kenny beckons me, the Viper, and he goes, your son's already funnier than half the people we work with. He's got to be stopped.
You might have to go further.
Which is the hardest, the highest praise you can get. For
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The Viper story came up a couple times that night too.
The motorcycle.
Motorcycle.
Yeah, well, I was surprised. He rode the motorcycle there, and I didn't know he was actually riding it.
Did he get lessons or
I
anything?
I think he did
must
take
have,
some
yeah.
driving lessons, and he made it to the
He
show
has
and
been
back.
on 2 lawns since we've last
Yeah,
seen him, though.
I know.
You know that.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how the lessons are doing.
Right.
So I think we should have Gus as a test subject here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buying a house.
Yeah, but let's talk about the market. Like
Market's
things are
crazy.
really starting to. We talk about it every week. How crazy the market is.
We
Things
gotta
are
get the Tony
really
V
starting to
report soon.
percolate.
Yeah.
Here.
But does it seem to be
It's
leveling off, or is it just
no,
keep
it's
going?
just. I think that people took a little bit of a break.
Right.
They didn't
What
no
we're
one
seeing
put their
now, it's
houses on
almost
the
like
market.
it's almost like this is our March. Wait a minute, we can all talk.
Did you just interrupt me?
No, but we're just trying to
We
see.
just talked last week about etiquette and conversation and how it's
This
a
is
back
why
and
our old
forth.
engineer no longer will do it with us.
We talked
he's
about
written us
how
off.
you need to listen
ahead.
before you
Go
talk.
ahead.
No,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
You
seem to have more
No,
important
it just
things
seems
to
like
say.
our May market.
Wait, you have to listen before you talk?
Yes, that was. If you saw our podcast last week, it's a conversation.
How would I see a podcast?
Oh,
This
It's
is
on.
this is the video.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good thing you wore your best shirt.
I'm not even wearing a shirt.
those things that came.
No, look at that.
No, it just seems
That's
like
why I'm worried about my lipstick.
See, I was curious about that. I thought you were doing a bit.
Oh no. No, we're like live.
We're live.
Say hi to
We're live.
everyone.
I don't. I want to go now. I don't wanna,
see the camera. See how much money they put into that camera tree.
it's like
Yeah.
$40.
Yeah, and the additional accessory one right here for 15. So yeah, so
Yeah.
we got a.
All right. So the market.
The market.
Go ahead.
No, you were
Oh
saying.
my God! It just
So
seems like
I just feel like it was a slow start. Like our March usually gets very it's a sleeper, January, February, because there's not a ton of people putting houses on the market. They don't want people traipsing through their house in the snow with the
I see.
and they also the house looks better when the flowers have started blooming and the grass
Curb
is nice
appeal.
and green. Curb appeal.
Very good.
Because that's is that the first thing that someone falls in love with is the curb appeal.
When you drive up and you go, oh, I can see
Yeah.
myself in that house.
now it's
Yep.
web appeal.
Yeah, web appeal, but it's
Right.
the same thing. You look at
Yep.
the outside of the
Yep.
house, but then you get to look at the inside. But so January, February, we're kind of slow, and then March, we're like, oh, it's going to be a really busy month, and March kind of took a dive.
Well, March was the worst in the Northeast anyway. It was,
Yeah.
it was the worst month of
Yeah.
the winter.
Yes. Yeah.
You know.
So our March turned into January, February,
right.
and April. Still, like, not a ton of stuff because there's no low inventory.
Right.
But things are starting, like they're just
They're
it's-
cracking out.
Yeah,
Now,
crazy.
Do you find the weather
Yes.
affects things?
Absolutely.
Because April was pretty rainy too and cold,
Right.
still
Yeah.
cold, and
Yep.
it doesn't inspire going house to
Right.
house.
Right.
Hey,
So-
and listen, if you're even thinking about selling your house and you're listening to the forecast, the sales
Right.
forecast, and everyone's saying that low inventory, people are getting $50,000 over asking
Right.
price. People are starting to think about it, and
Yep.
and try to making a move because they don't know where the top of the
Where
the
the
market
market
is,
is,
right?
right.
Have you
So-
got a make me move offer yet?
I haven't got to make me move offer, but I still at least 3 times a week get a letter or a call from somebody
Yeah, you're
who,
prime real
who
estate.
wants to buy my house.
Right.
What do you think about that, Gus?
I don't care. Let's do it.
Except then you're going to be homeless. You're not going to have a bachelor pad.
So you're gonna stay here in the summer at your
Yeah, right
dad's.
in New Hampshire,
Yeah.
in the podcast studio that's above a cigar
So,
shop.
so this is going to be a 24-hour
Yeah.
podcast, right? We're just
Yeah,
going to
pretty
watch
much,
this.
yeah.
Exactly. So
Listen, if I could move into this place, I would.
I
I mean, this is heaven.
No,
This
you're not
is
lying.
heaven, right?
Yeah.
And every once in a while, David Garofalo brings in donuts, and they
And you
just
get a nice
to
cold
complete it.
brew.
if there weren't
coffee's
stairs
there,
between the cigars and the coffee,
It
I
would
think
be
he would
perfect.
actually move
Right.
here.
Yeah. Well,
is
I'm
why-
sure that they would
Yeah.
bring him cigars if he asked,
Yeah,
right?
But this is why flat earthers, people. Well, I wish the world was flat.
Well, no, it's not.
I know, but I would.
It's debatable.
I'm not saying anything.
But I mean completely flat, no stairs. You know what I mean? Just flat. Just everything was on the same
Just a
level.
one level,
You
huh?
just one level.
no
Right.
basements, no attics.
Did I ever tell you of my love for Mad Mike Hughes?
Yeah,
Did we
all the
mention?
time.
Not on
No,
the podcast.
not us
Oh, okay.
though.
Mad Mike Hughes is, as I age, you lose heroes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you get to know people or whatever,
Yep.
and you shouldn't.
Yep.
You think there's no more heroes. There's a guy, and everybody should look this man up. His name is Mad Mike Hughes, and he's a 62-year-old limo driver who's a flat earther. He believes the earth is flat.
Mm-hmm.
And to prove it, he wasn't listening to anybody else because, it's all fake. He built himself a rocket. He built a rocket and shot himself up into space.
To see if he would.
Yeah, he made it 1,800 feet.
He made it high. He made it
About
high up.
1,800 feet. Not so you could tell the world was flat, but the sheer dedication I don't believe in anything he believes
Look,
in.
and he lived.
And he
It's
lived.
And he
important.
lived to tell about it, right?
He parachuted back down, a couple days in intensive care.
Well, how do you spell his last name? A couple days
In intensive care. And the best part of it, it's documented on YouTube. It's Mad Mike Hughes, Hughes.
Okay.
And he
Right.
literally
He
built
literally
himself a rocket.
Built a rocket, went the Roadrunner route, got Acme rocket science behind him, built himself a rocket, put himself in it, and shot himself up 1,800 feet.
Now, did he have anybody helping him?
He had. This would be my life. He had two buddies watching him going, he's never going to do this. He's never going to do it. And they got the phone out. You go, oh, my God, he did it. You know?
All right, when he shot up, where did he land when he
He came right
down?
back down. Like
Okay.
And crashed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Hence
because of
the-
you know
He
the
had like a
gravity
wi-
caused by a
right.
circular Earth.
Earth. Right.
Made
And
him
he-
come right
right,
back
Made
down.
him come
And he
down.
had, he had his launch pad attached to his pickup truck, But he did. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He did it.
He did it.
He was committed, and he wasn't taking no for an answer.
Right, here's the thing
and
that
he
gets me
built
about
himself
that.
a
Now,
rocket.
that's a good bit.
I'm not smart enough to build myself a rocket, but I do believe the Earth is round.
You're smart
So-
enough not to build a rocket and
Yeah, but
try
I'm
to.
saying even if I wanted to, I don't think I could do it. I don't.
Right.
I think he has something
well,
on him.
maybe
to get
that's
the
where he
fuel
gets
and-
the mad before Mike Hughes.
You don't think he's just angry?
I mean, I wonder
Yeah,
how many
maybe.
calls he made where they go, "No, we're not selling you a rocket." You know what I mean? It's like,
kinda like the
listen, I need a
double-decker
rocket.
bus.
I'm not buying.
I can only
you
imagine.
can't buy a
How about
rocket.
the endorsements he was able to get after
Oh my
that,
God!
though?
You got to look him up.
I'm
telling
I'm
you.
gonna
look
look.
him
I
up.
have it written
Yeah,
down. I'm gonna
he's
look
the,
it up.
The best human on the planet right now.
All right.
Mad Mike
When
Hughes.
when did he do this?
Not too long ago,
Okay.
Now, he couldn't go
16
out and,
or
like,
18 months.
Build
Okay.
some of the things we talk about, like a tree house or a tiny house.
Nope, built
or,
himself a rocket.
or any of those
Sure.
we've mentioned on this show. He built himself.
A
Just to
rocket,
get the fuel alone to be able to project
Yeah, I
yourself
wouldn't know how
into
to begin to
1,800
build a
square-
rocket.
Rocket fuel.
Yeah, sorry, you're right.
Look, Rick, this isn't rocket science.
No, actually, it is. Right.
You don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand this, Rick.
I think he probably got it, at IKEA. He probably got an IKEA rocket. Yeah.
Oh, wait, can I tangent for a sec?
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
You know, an awesome thing that kids are doing now is IKEA sleepovers. So they hide in like the shelves at IKEA
Yeah.
until it closes, and then they all come out and have like a party in a
Genius
closed
idea.
IKEA. Right.
All right,
Yeah.
let me just say this. This isn't a kid's idea. I've thought it for years at Jordan's Furniture.
Oh, right.
Oh, I would live there in a
I
heartbeat.
would
Oh,
live
yeah.
there for
My
weeks
kids
at a
used
time.
to say that. We'd
Oh,
walk
yeah.
by Macy's. There's mattresses in Macy's, right?
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Wouldn't you love to get stuck here overnight?
yeah.
All the shopping we could
I'd be
do
in
and
that
the food."
IMAX. I would.
Oh, they
yeah.
got the trapeze.
Oh,
everything.
the
Yeah.
trapeze.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a great
I had
place.
to get spotted somewhere. So, poor Gus. Let's talk about Gus if he's ever going to buy a house. Let's just throw some random thoughts.
All right, let's pretend you're a buyer.
We
Oh.
thrown out random thoughts for brokers and
Can I
originators.
do voices?
Yeah, if you want to.
I do want
yeah.
to.
Yeah.
So do we have any? We never really talked too much about legal tips for our young.
Well,
millennials,
Tony has one, right?
which is
What's that?
Call Rick Carter.
Call Ricardo.
Oh,
That's
wow.
look.
Thank
That's
you.
just the first
That's
phone
right.
call you should
Yeah.
make
I-
for any
Yeah.
reason. Even if you're undecided about a pizza,
Right.
you know what I mean? Do I want pepperoni or do I want burger?
Right.
Whatever.
That's Rick Carter at 617
No. What's
I'll
the
help
phone
you out.
number?
865-309.
No.
we get a lot of
Yeah,
promotion
it's,
today there, Sean,
No,
on your
that's
birthday.
Jenny.
Call Rick Carter at
They're both a good time.
781
So
Ricky, I got
944.
your number.
9222. Yeah, Ricky's not going to get that number's not going to get you very far.
No.
What's the number again?
781-944-9222.
That should be our new jingle.
that could be
I
a
like
song.
it.
Yeah, easy.
Ricky, we got your number. Ricky, you wanna buy a home?
Ricky, don't change that number.
781-944.
And please don't do it alone.
9222.
And if Rick's not around, call Mad Max.
Now,
No, Mad Mike.
Mad
Yes.
Mike.
Mac.
has your wife moved out yet?
My wife?
With the two of you?
Emotionally, she has. She's checked
she's
out
gone.
years
Yeah.
ago.
Now your
Yes.
daughter's very
She's just
stable.
fake.
Not that the two of you aren't.
No,
I'm
but
just-
she's funny too, isn't she?
Yeah, she's really
She's
funny.
an entertainer too.
Well, she's probably dramatic, right? Because she's a
Yeah.
drama
She's
drama
a-
student.
Yeah.
So.
But she doesn't like the hijinks in public.
Oh, she
No,
doesn't.
You know, Gus and I.
Oh, we love that.
We'll,
Shenanigans,
yeah,
tomfoolery.
Yeah, you guys are
Do you
high and
remember the
jinks.
first time we met Gus? He
Probably.
literally sat in our recording and read a book and didn't laugh at one of Tony's jokes. And I was like
I'm
wetting
used
my
to-
pants
I
laughing.
have a
used to
feeling
it.
he's heard it before.
And Gus didn't even break a smile, never looked up from his book.
It's a good book.
You know, Gus, you know, had an upbringing unlike others where, I mean, you know, I would bring him to shows and he wouldn't be able to go in the room because he was not, 21.
Right.
So he would be in a green room somewhere reading a book by himself, and I'd check in on him, and you know, because we would travel together and stuff like that. So you know, they were exposed to my foolishness at an early
Oh
age.
yeah, I
know.
think that's
Like a
awesome.
vaccine. Funny.
Patient zero.
All right, so if Gus was buying a house, what can we give him for tips? He's got to get a buyer's agent. He's got to get a buyer's agent.
Right.
That's the first thing to do is the buyer's agent.
You gotta
Like
get a buyer's
if you're
agent.
driving by and you see an open house, you don't really want to go there unrepresented. You want to
No.
go.
You got to
want
get
to
a
go.
good buyer's agent.
Yeah, you got to get someone. I would get like references or referrals from other people that has successfully bought a house that you trust. You know
Because
what I
we're
mean?
seeing sellers say, "Oh, that kid has a buyer's agent, and we like that buyer." We shouldn't say it, but I really think they're predisposed to go to that client because in this
Yeah.
multiple offer situation, there's 9 people chirping in for an offer. I think they're going to say, "Well, that buyer's agent's pretty good about it. He or she will make sure the loan
Plus,
gets through."
they know
They know
things
the
to put in
process.
the
They know how to
offer. They know
navigate.
They're good at what they do. They're very smart. So you got to pick a
Can I
good
ask
buyer's
the three
agent.
of you this? I know we're doing so well. Now I'm already bringing it up. Do you think a buyer's agent should have a very expensive car?
Oh, clearly.
I think yes.
Yes.
Okay, because they did have that. They threw that out as an article, like a $100,000 BMW driving around with the buyers, and they were saying, well, you could go one or two ways.
I think, but
Yeah, go ahead.
You
Go
asked
ahead.
the question,
I did,
right?
I
And I
did.
think that maybe Gus and Tony are probably with me on this one. It makes them look successful.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right?
And
Do you agree with
it's-
that?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's all presentation.
Right.
You know what I
right,
mean?
Okay.
And maybe they look like they're pretentious, but
Right,
but
right.
a
Doesn't
buyer's
matter.
agent.
That's what X amount said. They said, well, geez, I'm not sure if I want to go with that buyer's agent. Looks like they don't have time. They're doing so well, they're not going to have time for me in my house. So-
No,
All
I
right,
no.
All right. No, because I agree
I
with
always
you.
like well-dressed people, like
I
people
know.
that walk into a room and they command
they-
attention.
And your hair looks
yeah,
very
yeah.
good
Oh,
today,
thank
too.
you.
No, you're
You know,
welcome.
they've done studies on that where, guys who
Curb appeal.
curb appeal. Yeah. Guys who dress and look like me, try to get into a fancy restaurant.
Yep.
And they give
Okay.
met with
Even
attitude.
though they don't know you're Tony V.
Right. It doesn't matter who.
I think that
whoever.
could hurt him, actually.
Right. Good. But then they go out and give the guy a makeover. He comes back in a
And
three-piece
he's
suit.
getting a
and
lot more
shaved,
well-received.
And
All right.
come right this way,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
I've had that happen to me at the Ritz, where you get the, can I help you, sir? You know what I mean, with the questions there. But if you walk
the
in
tone,
the suit and
with
you
the
go,
tone, yeah.
what can we do for you? I
Right.
mean, it's a real different
Yeah,
tone.
interesting,
And
right.
I think that's right.
It's like
All right.
Pretty Woman, right? Have you guys
Right.
seen
Yeah.
that? Like,
Yeah.
when she goes into that high-end boutique and she's
Right.
dressed like a hooker.
You can say it. You can say
yeah.
that. Gus, that's
they-
all right to
they
say
were
it on
so-
a
they
podcast.
were-
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could be fishing.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
But they wouldn't help her.
Right.
They,
All right,
they-
all right.
But then when she
Okay.
got all
No, I
dressed
just said
up
it.
and she
Right.
walked in, they were all falling all over her.
Yeah.
And she basically
Yeah,
told them all where to
that-
go.
If you remember, that scene turns on when the guy goes over and he goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna spend an obscene amount of money, here,
Right.
so please." And then all of a sudden it was like, "Oh yes, ma'am, anything you like, ma'am, yes, whatever we can do for you."
And I think she ended up walking out of that
Right,
store and
yeah.
going somewhere
Somewhere
else.
else.
Good for her.
Yeah.
So she had a little better strategy after she left. All right, here's another.
So what's the? So go back.
the
Go on the counter. Like, what do the other people say when they drive a really nice car that they
Well, you
that they're
actually
too
said
busy?
it there. They're too pretentious. It looks like it's all about them.
I think they should drive like a cool vintage car then.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're right.
That worked.
Yeah, that would
that's
work.
That's a happy medium.
We have a broker that owns a London taxi.
Yes, she does.
Oh, that's nice.
That's
Cool.
cool.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. All right, so Gus, so here's another suggestion.
What if you had your own rocket?
Mad Mike. Well,
Right.
I know
You
we're
could have
looking at
Mad
Mad
Mike
right
be
now.
your driver.
Just parachute right in.
We
Right.
get him on this.
We could try.
We could try to get
That would
Mad
be
Mike
good.
here. Yeah.
That would be good.
That would be your homework assignment. If you could write to him and.
I don't want to do. Don't call it a homework assignment.
Oh.
But I'll
How about
do
a
it
little
if you-
project? A little summer
There we go.
project?
There we
yeah.
go.
It's all about branding.
Yeah.
All right.
You're right.
So strategy for Gus, he's got to come up with his own strategies. One thing I'm hearing is buyers, agents are getting a little exasperated with their buyers when they don't have a game plan in mind. So,
And when you mean game plan, like
Well, all
how
right.
much they're going to spend.
Yeah, all right. I'll buy a $200,000 in Tewksbury, or I'll buy a $2.1 million at Charlestown.
Like the swing is too
kinda
much.
reel
You
it
don't
in a
know,
little
right?
bit.
You don't know what
Right.
you
Well,
want.
there are
Right.
a lot of buyer's agents now because it's so busy that won't take you from here to there. We've heard
Right.
that before with other
Anything
agents.
under 750, they
Well,
don't
Right.
touch
or like
it.
they're not going to take you to Marblehead and then
oh,
down
place-
to Situate
right, right.
and then
And
out to the
that's
west.
kind of what I mean.
like-
Right,
Kind
right.
of zero in because there's not enough time.
You don't know where
too,
you
right?
want to work.
right.
I mean,
I think if you're a new buyer's agent, you'll take them to the moon if
Right,
if
right,
they
right.
ask you to go
Well,
there.
I think we've
but-
had that on the show where
Yeah.
people, we have people who are, well entrenched in their business, and they choose or have the ability to be more picky.
right.
You know what I mean? I'll only
yeah.
do this and
Well,
this.
that's
But if
the-
you're new and hungry, I'm sure you,
Right.
you want to
Well,
get
that's
your
the
first
other
couple
thing
of
that we've
sales.
heard buyers brokers interview the buyer,
Right.
right?
Which is right.
They interview you and see, I don't
Okay.
know if I want to work with Gus.
Yeah.
And-
I wouldn't.
No, that's a good point because on open houses, you always think you're going in to visit that house to see if you like that house.
Right.
But that listing agent is actually interviewing you and your agent.
And you don't even know it.
So if you're a pain in the neck at the open house,
Guess what?
I've heard listing agents say, I'm not going to go with that one.
Right.
They were asking me some very crazy questions.
So a simple question. Right now, who has the most power in the transaction?
Carter Law. No.
No, Carter
We
Law.
have no
Clear.
power,
the
actually.
seller, it's a
The
seller's
sell,
market.
it's a seller's market.
Yeah.
Yep,
The
yep.
seller
Right.
and the
So
listing
they're
agent.
dominating.
And the
so,
listing agent.
So a few years ago, when in the buyer's market, you can say, all right, well, I want the following repairs taken care of.
Right, right.
Now,
The seller tell you to pound sand.
pound sand, we're
Right.
not even sure if you
Next.
can get a home inspection
Right.
done. 'cause
I don't
they-
even know if I want you to buy my house.
That's
Right.
right.
Well, that's exactly
I'll
what
let
they
you know
say.
if you're buying my house or
yeah.
not.
I'll
I'll
tell
let you know when it's
Go-
time to go.
I mean, we're still hearing offers, $70,000, $80,000 over
Really?
asking price.
Yeah.
Yep. With 20 to 25
Now,
offers.
strange you say that. I think a couple weeks ago I said that there was a house in my neighborhood that went on for like $249.
I saw
Yeah.
that. I saw that.
And I think they reduced their price.
Oh,
So
really?
they might have been overreaching a little bit.
Okay.
We're a little
I-
greedy, right?
Yeah, a little greedy.
Interesting.
So
'cause-
you got to know your market, right?
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. No, yeah, because
But when you put your house on the market, you're usually being coached by a listing agent that's
Right.
telling you that this is what we should put your house on the market
Right,
for.
right.
So maybe they just threw it up there to
But
see.
you're right. It is a kiss of death if you put it on too high.
Yeah,
Your house
and then you
isn't
have to
selling,
reduce because
where,
if I'm a buyer, I'm like,
Right.
why did they
Why-
reduce
Right.
the price?
Yeah.
where every other house is selling in a day. Well,
Yeah.
what's the problem with
Why
this
has
one?
this house been on the market for 11
So
days?
if you're right. No, you're right.
I know, but
you-
11 days doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot.
I hear
Yeah.
I hear some sellers get mad at like their neighbors say, "You got 6 offers, I only got 4 offers." You know, it's
Right,
it's
right,
that
right,
competitive
right.
now. So when Gus goes in and he's buying a house,
He's buying a house.
He's buying a house. We finally found a house.
Not
He
soon enough
better
as far as I'm
have-
concerned.
He better have his pre-approval letter
Better
in
have his
hand.
pre-approval
And
letter.
where do you get that?
He
You
must
get it from a
his-
lender.
Yep. No, you're right, because my daughter tried that, and the first thing they said was, "Where's your pre-approval letter?" Yeah, it's so fast. You got to make sure you're going to be able to qualify for that
So,
amount.
so let's give an example. So Gus is driving by the house.
Hey, look, a house.
I want to
Better
go
stop.
see that. I want to go see that tonight.
He gets it in the moment very
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
he?
He's an
He's doing
improv
good,
guy.
yeah.
No, he's good. He's good.
So you're driving by the house. I want to see the house. Come on, do it.
Hey, look at that house. Tee. I want to check that out.
Pull
I
over.
want to buy that house.
You want to call your lender and you say, I want to go to an
well,
open,
before he's
open
looked
house.
at the house, right?
Yeah, before you even go into that open house, you have to call your lender and
Beep,
say,
boop,
I
beep,
just,
boop.
yep,
Hey, man or woman,
I
Can
just.
you loan me $420,000?
do you loan me $420,000?
And they say, they ask for a little bit of information and they put it all in this, what they call desktop underwriting. And they come out and they say, yes, I can loan you that money. And they print out a letter.
Nice.
And then you have it when you go to your offer. Now you look like a viable player because
You have a piece
on
of paper.
And I'm driving a $100,000 BMW.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Well,
I
you're-
didn't know you were.
Oh,
The buyer's agent.
the buyer's
yeah.
agent is.
Saying that. Right.
We're married.
Yeah. Okay.
Buyer's agent, yes.
That's
Then you're
correct.
automatically
More
going
of
to
a
get
civil
that
union,
house.
but
So you're right. You got your pre-approval letter. You already have your home inspector line up because you're going to have that inspector very quickly. You got to have your.
What is
attorneys-
the turnaround time? Like 5 days or 3
Yeah,
days or?
yeah, 3 to 5 days at
And
this point.
honestly, there are some home inspectors that can't get you in.
Right.
They
Right.
said they a 2-week
No,
turnaround.
that's a good point there. And what are they actually inspecting when they are in there? So Gus is going to have to ask him, are you going to do a radon test? Are you going to test the
gonna-
water pipes? Are you
Can
gonna
you
test
climb a
can you
ladder,
climb the ladder and
check
check the roof
my
out?
roof?
yeah, do all those things.
Yeah.
She had her inspect, and the guy says, well, I don't look at roofs. I go, well,
He was too old to go up on the roof. I can't get up there.
that's
kind
an
of
important part of the
adorable, though.
house.
This is why we need drones.
You're right.
You're right. Yeah.
You're right.
You know who could have seen that? Mad Mike Hughes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Flown
For
right
1
over
second.
that roof looks good.
We might have to revisit that. That isn't just thought he'd shoot himself up 1,800 feet into the air.
Yeah,
Just,
but that's.
I mean,
not-
I think of that stuff,
Sure.
but we don't do that.
That's what I'm saying. This is what makes a man. He saw it through.
Mad isn't angry in this. I think
No,
it's
no,
crazy mad.
I'd like to buy a duck boat and drive around the streets
And
of Reading.
he's not kidding.
I'm not-
He's
What,
not
that
kidding.
seems easier than a rocket.
That's what I mean. And I still haven't done that yet, but that's a whole nother
Rick,
story.
they would be talking about you. You
Right.
think they talk about
you
you now?
like that idea,
I
right?
love that idea.
I know.
You
Stop
there-
it, Tony.
There's a guy around.
I also
Gosh,
like
you-
that
All
idea.
Stop
right,
it.
so
You
you
stop
know.
it, Tony.
I wanted to take your side, but I can't.
You can on something else.
No,
You know,
it's-
they have littler ones. You know, you don't need the big
you
48 passenger one.
Oh, I'll
And he
No,
doesn't
They have-
need
I'll
a
take
boat
a
because
24
what water,
passenger.
what body of water are you going to be floating in Reading?
Lake Quantapowhat in Wakefield.
In
That would
Wakefield.
make a statement.
Sure.
Wouldn't it
Yeah,
make a
you
statement?
know what the statement
Yeah,
is? That Rick Carter is one crazy
he's as
attorney.
He's crazy as Mad
They're gonna
Mike.
call
Crazy
him
enough to work.
Mad Rick Carter.
All right, so Gus has bought his house. He's got
So-
his pre-approval letter.
Gus just said it's just crazy enough to work. I think you have two allies. Did you pay them?
That's
No.
what Gus's
Yeah.
commitment letter is going to say.
Yeah.
You know what? Those numbers, it's just crazy,
Crazy
enough,
enough
to
to
work.
work.
Right, exactly. We'll
All
have
right.
that on there.
So Gus
He bought a
goes
house.
he
You know,
goes into his
You know what I
open
see
house.
a lot is people don't put in, things they verbalize with the seller. Like if they want the chair set or the sofa set, they forget to put that in the offer. We got to get that stuff in the offer, okay?
I mean, it
Simple.
doesn't sound like a big deal until you move in and the refrigerator is gone and the stove is
right,
gone and the
right.
Well, you
hot
have to say
tub.
what you want.
Oh, If
Yeah.
it's not a fixture, yes. I mean, if you're
Now, what's a
expecting-
fixture?
Well, anything is attached
That's
to the
a
property.
great question.
Thank
we
you very
love
much.
that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so.
Do you think that a shrubbery, like you have a favorite plant out
Yeah.
front, do you think that that's yours or is that
Yeah, because
belong with the property?
It's the property.
Property.
Okay.
Yeah. There you
So if you want, it means a lot to you.
Yes.
It's your.
But so you mean you could say, look, I'll sell you the house, but I'm taking my shrubbery?
Well,
I'm
that's a good-
taking
that's a
that
good- that's a
that
good one.
special shrub.
Right.
Because
Like,
the seller.
who do you get to take that?
You just get a landscaper to do it, but what I'm going to say as a buyer, but you'd have to replace it with
With
something,
right.
similar.
I just don't want a big hole with that.
No,
Yeah.
that's a good point. On the seller end, they think they can just take those shrubs.
Right,
But
because
I-
it's a fixture. It's fixed to the land
Yeah.
unless you specify.
Yeah.
Like a chandelier, right? A
Yes, that
chandelier is a
shows up a lot.
fixture.
There's a fee. That doesn't come
Wait, a
back.
chandelier is a fixture, but a shrub is not.
It is, and but you have to. It'll come with the house unless you say I want to take that shrub or I
What
want
if
to take that
your
chandelier.
What if your chandelier's in the front yard?
in the shrubs.
In the shrubs? Because there was a dispute.
That doesn't sound like it's attached anymore.
What if you take the shrub but you replace it with a chandelier?
Now you're talking.
What if you have a shrub hanging from your ceiling over your kitchen table?
There's a lot of good questions.
These are- yeah, these are great questions, guys.
What if you have a seller who decides to take all the fixtures and replace them with cheaper fixtures? We've seen that before.
Yeah, you have a problem.
You have a problem.
What if you had a shrub that lit up?
Now I think you just want a shrub that lights up.
Why wouldn't I?
I guess that's fair.
I would leave that shrub if
That'd
it
be
lights
great.
up.
Right.
because it's probably more of a fixture than just a shrub. But like we've had situations where like someone took a bookcase, but it was affixed to the wall. So when they took the bookcase,
There's
it
a big-
ripped. You know what I mean? It ruined the room.
That's insane. 'Cause
Right.
when you
so-
saw the house, it was
right,
attached.
Right. But typically your appliances come, except for the
Stove.
refrigerator and the washer and dryer.
Stove, washer, dryer. Go.
No.
Stove, dishwasher.
Anything that's like
Attached.
installed.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
But like the refrigerator can stay or go.
Really?
Depending on what,
Right.
what you negotiated with,
With the
the parties.
Here's my question: do they have to tell you if there's catacombs? Or like secret
I don't know, Rick.
bookcase?
Valid question.
Valid question.
Because on one hand, I would like to know, but on the other hand, I'd like to be surprised. Like if
Good point.
If like I were to remove a book from the shelf, I
And the
would
thing
see
spun
a
around.
laboratory.
That might
or-
be something you can
Yeah.
work out with your buyer's agent.
Right.
Say,
Oh,
listen,
yeah.
you know what? I don't want to know too much about the house. I love surprises.
We love
Sure.
surprises.
I like that.
Right.
Is there a murder in the house? I want to be surprised.
Yep.
Right?
Some
Right?
quiet
Haunted,
spirits, yeah.
Haunted.
Yep.
Surprise. Right. You know,
Listen, you're going to get surprises.
Well, if you
Even
buy
if they
my house, you're going to
disclose-
get surprises.
If they disclose everything, you still get surprises after you sign on the dotted line.
now if Gus is signed on the dotted line, should he worry about tax problems, survey problems, title problems,
After you sign, which dotted line?
betterment issues? After you
which-
sign the purchase and sale.
Yeah, you should
So
worry
that's
about that.
that should be with a closing attorney. Shouldn't they look into that
Well,
stuff?
I guess before you sign, you should ask all the questions or have someone like Ricardo.
Who knows what
What to a-
questions
what to look
ask.
for.
I'm getting
yeah.
a lot of props today. This is
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Gus. This is awesome.
Thanks for slipping me that 50.
Look
Hint,
look
hint.
at your dad saying,
Don't
look,
tell
he
your
gave
father.
me a 20.
yeah. So you definitely need. You can't go it alone. We say it all the time. You definitely need to be surrounded with professionals.
You
because,
need a team.
You
yeah.
need a team.
Yep.
You need a team.
And if you're looking for Rick, just call our office. We can help you.
Wow, that's a lot of props. A lot of
Yeah.
props. We're not getting too far on our list of 25 hours.
It's
Yeah,
all
we're
right.
doing great.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, then you have to just you have to watch the process very carefully because
Can
if
you tell the people the process? Because people get nervous about that.
sure.
Gus wants to know if he's buying a house, does he have to worry about plop, or is that something you take care of?
Well,
Well, what if there's a title problem on the
If
property?
there's a title problem, the attorney typically is all over it. Well, Carter Law Office is, but
If you have a good attorney.
If you have a good
yeah,
attorney.
the title
Thank you,
problem
Tony.
is really the seller's problem, but it becomes your problem if you're lining up movers and kids going into a school system and selling your house and having everything jive. So you might want to open up the communication with all parties. Now, is everything going okay? Like, you guys foreseen any problems? And at that point, we'll say, well, the sellers, they're trying to clear up a title. They've assured me that it'll be done by Friday, but we'll stay on it. But, like, you can't just pretend that everyone's doing all the work and, you know what I mean? Just assume that everyone's
So when
doing
they
all the
come to
work.
Carter Law Office and have Kathy Holtshouser taking care of their file, so you look into these, because we get this from buyers a lot. Well, what if there is a zoning problem? What if there's a missing mortgage? Do we look into that stuff? I imagine we look into that stuff, and then we sort
I
of...
don't. No, I'm only kidding. We do. We look into everything.
Somebody does.
Yeah.
Because we
At the
actually end up
office.
certifying title to that borrower,
Right.
right?
So we're certifying to the bank, the lender
In
that you're going
Massachusetts.
that
We-
you're
we
going
gotta,
with.
We got to forget this podcast is nationwide, so we're not sure
Right.
what every other
We
state
certify
does.
to the lender and to the buyer that they're buying the house free and clear of any encumbrances that will
other
affect.
than
Oh,
we
yeah.
list.
If you're buying a house in Dubai, we can't help you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No. She won't even let me go out of Massachusetts
No.
now. I've tried to do Rhode Island closings.
No, yeah.
and she
Yeah,
yells,
can't
No,
do
yeah.
it.
Connecticut.
yeah.
She's actually zeroing in
Because the rules are so much different.
on a little bit different. Yeah.
Well, it's like
New Hampshire's easy. We do New Hampshire.
No, we
closings.
do Mass and New Hampshire.
New
Hampshire, there's no rules.
No,
Right,
they,
right. Live free.
yeah, they just
We've
they
done
put your
Maine.
X on the wood.
It's the deep south of the north.
New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
some states we kind of shy away
I got to
from.
imagine Connecticut's awful.
That's one of them.
Because
Yeah.
Connecticut's
Yes.
awful for everything.
How'd you know that? That was
it's
one
the
I was gonna
wor-
say.
Yeah, it's the worst state in the union.
I
for
think
anything.
Jersey gets too much flack. Connecticut's worse.
Connecticut's
Way worse.
tough.
It's like Jersey
No, you're
without
right.
the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, because
Connecticut's tough.
it masquerades as like a liberal bastion, but it's fascist.
It's
No, it's
awful.
terrible.
We would
Have
not
you
Although-
heard their
Connecticut.
radio?
Oh, the radio is Southern Rock, all the way through. It's just
Is it?
brutal. Yeah.
In Connecticut?
In Connecticut,
All
yeah.
right.
it's
They
like
got Ryan's Deli though.
Ryan's Deli.
Ryan's Deli's great.
And,
All right, so
and the
So
lake
they have some.
and the Lakeside Diner.
Ooh,
right.
oh,
lake-
I thought that was in New York.
No, that's exit 34 after Merritt Parkway.
Best blueberry pancakes.
Wow. On the planet.
Oh, incredible.
Hands down. Crispy around the edges, soft in the middle.
Oh. You can
Tons
view
of
a lake
blueberries.
while you're-
They make their own donuts and muffins.
What is that saying? The apple doesn't fall too
Yeah,
far
the
from the
blueberry.
tree.
Blueberry.
Blueberry doesn't fall
blueberry.
apart.
Right.
Poor
From
Ed
the
Sullivan,
bush.
our producer, is trying to write down all the content
I
we're
know.
coming up with today.
Well, yeah.
And hasn't written anything quite yet.
Well, the next time we have Gus on, we can talk about when he finally gets to the closing.
Get to closing and some of the representations you probably want to ask of the seller.
Yeah, that I was right on the
That
tip
was
of my
right
tongue.
on your
That was
tip.
my next.
Yeah, right.
Wait, he gave you $50?
Yeah.
You weren't supposed to tell.
Have we flown? Have we?
Yeah, we're done.
We're done. All
We're
right.
so done.
All right. All right. All I can say is, if you're doing your closing, you're doing your walkthrough, and you find a shrub in your chandelier,
Yeah,
or
right.
vice versa,
It's
Or-
their fault.
Or a
their
light-up
fault,
shrub.
or a light-up
Or
shrub,
Mad Mike Hughes.
or a Mad Mikey in your backyard, call us. And
Listen, you clear out enough land, you could have your own launch pad right in the back of the
Yeah.
house.
Yep.
and if you need any other information, although I think we've
Just
covered
call
everything. Thanks for joining us on the Real Estate House Party. Rick Carter, Tony V, Paralegal Extraordinaire, Kathy Holtshouser, and Gus V. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks
And
for having me.
See you next week, unless the ratings plummet.
They
a
shut
lot.
us off.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.